Good morning, fellow Hoops fans. Welcome back to yet another episode of the Last Shot NBA show right here on Little Birdie TV. And as always, we are brought to you by our great mates over there at topsport.com.au. Now, what a fantastic weekend of basketball we have had. We're going to talk NBL on Wednesday morning ahead of Game 3. So it's going to be all NBA today. We're going to start off. We're going to welcome old mate BK. My man, how you doing?
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent, my man. I'm doing excellent. Although I am, how can I put this? I'm starting to doubt myself a little bit, BK, because I doubted my fellow Greek, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I actually picked the Celtics to win that series in 6 games, and I'm actually starting to regret that now.
Hey, look, at the time with the Chris Middleton injury, it made sense. But once again, are we underestimating Giannis?
Listen, I've never underestimated him. I just felt like that Middleton loss was going to be too... Listen, we're going to get into Giannis a little bit later. We're going to start off, though, with the Ja Morant Golden State Warriors Memphis Grizzlies series, because there's a lot happening in that series, BK. Obviously, yesterday, Ja Morant was injured. The Grizzlies lost big yesterday. Ja Morant injured, appeared to occur during a trap at half court late in the fourth. I think it was with about 5-6 minutes left. He attempted to play through the injury. Obviously, the pain was a little bit too much. Hobbled to the sideline and then limped off back to the locker room with about 6:19 left in that final term. So we're actually going to show a clip of that right now. So this is where the injury appeared to occur. Now, Jordan Poole reaches in right there. And that's caused a little bit of contention between the two teams because now, Memphis Grizzlies head coach Taylor Jenkins has said that was, a dirty move. The guys have been going back and forth, BK. Up to that point, Ja had like 34 points, 7 assists. He was having a pretty good game. Grizzlies lost big, though. Do you look at that and think that was a dirty move? Because I don't. That for me, that was like he was making a basketball move there. I don't think he actually grabbed and yanked it, as Taylor Jenkins said. What did you make of it, BK?
Well, it kind of looked like he hurt himself, on a previous play contesting that Klay Thompson three-pointer, and then maybe aggravated it in that contact with Poole. I don't think it was that dirty of a play. Like, he was making the play on the ball, and the contact for me wasn't that extreme. It just, when you slow things down, they look a lot worse. But unfortunate for Ja. Hopefully he can get himself right for that next game. But these two teams aren't shy going back and forth with the chit chat. They're letting each other know.
No, well, I mean, they asked Jordan Poole about it post game, and he said, "Look, it was a basketball." Like, he actually hadn't seen the replay, and one of the reporters showed. Gave him his phone and showed him the replay on the phone. So he's kind of looking at it and he's like, look, it was a basketball play. I'm not a dirty player. Obviously, I don't, wish injury on him, and I hope he comes back quickly, et cetera, et cetera. So he was saying all the things you would expect him to say. And look, like I said, I kind of agree. I don't think that was a dirty play. There was no ill intention there. But like you said, there's back and forth now. So Morant, there was footage of him limping to the team bus not long after that, and then he tweeted out a tweet and then deleted it pretty quickly as well. So the caption was "broke the code." So he was alluding to what Steve Kerr had said earlier in the series in regard to the Dylan Brooks incident with GP2. So then he quickly deleted that. Then Klay Thompson had this to say when he was asked about the incident as well. He said, "I've had a bad knee injury. Jordan had no malicious intent. He's not out here clubbing people in the back of their head on fast breaks. We play the game the right way." Again, referring to Dylan Brooks. Things are getting spicy. Draymond Green chimed in. BK, I think the everything surrounding this series is getting a little bit more spicy than what's actually happening on the court.
Yeah, well, what's happening on the court is that the Golden State Warriors look like they're back. They put the hurt on in that game 3, and I don't know if you're Memphis. I feel like you're kind of getting caught up in everything else but the game. I mean, they're down 2-1 now. They're going to get things back on track here because they very much still have a chance in this series. But now they're in Golden State and things get a lot tougher.
BK, I may sound crazy when I'm saying this, but ahead of yesterday's game, I was thinking that game meant more to Golden State than Memphis. And what I mean by that is I just feel like if they had lost that first game at home and go down 2-1 in the series, then obviously Memphis, because they play a lot of, emotion, a lot of momentum, they start to get that momentum. I really felt that the series would have tilted in their favor. But like you said, the Warriors are firing on all cylinders now. They came out and made a statement yesterday that, look, we're a team that you need to be worried about. And they absolutely clobbered the Grizzlies in all facets of that game.
Yeah, their offense was just unbelievable. And, obviously Klay Thompson, he'd struggled, to this point. He had a great game. And then guys like Andrew Wiggins and Otto Porter, when they're starting to knock down shots consistently, you don't have much of a chance because you don't know where to look on defense.
BK, I don't know if you've seen anything. I was checking Twitter this morning to check for an update on Ja. I haven't seen anything yet. Have you seen anything in regards to Ja?
No, I think it's very much TBD at the moment. The hope is that he can come back for this next game, but I think they're just doing all the necessary scans and making sure he's right, to try and come back. But fingers crossed that he's back out on the floor because he has been so much fun to watch this postseason.
I saw a tweet, so I don't know how official this is, but there was a guy with doctor in his, handle. So
that'll do.
Yeah, that'll do. So, I don't know how official it is, but he claims to be some sort of, sports doctor. But he was sort of like breaking it down and just sort of saying that he didn't think that Ja's injury was as serious as people are sort of making it out to be, or is it serious that it appears. So I don't know, BK. You reckon Ja comes back this series? I don't know about next game, but does he come back next series?
I think he'll be back. We've seen him play through a ton of injuries. This guy's got a lot of fight in him. I think he'll be back out on the floor.
And look, just for the record, the Grizz have actually performed pretty decently without Ja this season. I think their record's like 20-5, 20 wins, 5 losses without Ja this season. So look, they can play without him, but you definitely want to have Ja Morant in your squad. All right, BK, moving on. Let's talk about this. Giannis, again, listen, I need to apologize to Yanni. Yanni, I'm sorry. I should never have doubted you. He has been absolutely phenomenal. He was a one-man wrecking crew against the Boston Celtics yesterday. 42 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. BK, I was wrong to count out the Milwaukee Bucks without Chris Middleton. I own it.
Hey, that's fair is fair. And credit to Giannis, though, because, he struggled a little bit in game 2, but in game 3, he was hunting for mismatches. He was trying to find Tatum and Brown and avoid Horford and Williams, getting them in the pick and roll, getting the shots that he wanted. And he had a lot of success against those smaller guys. There's not much you can do when a 6'11 Giannis is coming over those sort of 6'8 wings. So shout out to Giannis. The passing was awesome as well. He managed to set up his teammates really well. He was doing everything for them. He was incredible.
And I want to actually give a shout out to the Milwaukee Bucks defense, because prior to this series started, you and I were talking about that, and part of the reason why I picked the Celtics in 6, aside from the fact that Middleton's out, is their defense and the job that they did getting Kevin Durant out of his rhythm in that series against the Nets. And I just felt like they were going to do the similar sort of thing or try to do a similar thing to Giannis, especially without Middleton. But it's that Milwaukee defense that is putting the hurt on the Boston Celtics right now, and especially Jason Tatum, BK, because Jason Tatum is struggling. He is not getting anything. He had just 10 points yesterday on horrendous 4 of 19 shooting from Jason Tatum. Like, ouch, that's not good at all. And it's the Milwaukee Bucks that are throwing Tatum off his game rather than the Celtics throwing Antetokounmpo off his game right now.
Yeah, everything Jason Tatum put up was contested. Like, it was tough shot, tough shot, tough shot. Like, they did a great job just crowding the space and making it tough for him.
There was a lot of controversial calls, or no calls, I guess, if you want to call it, in that game as well, especially that last play with Drew Holiday. BK, did that look to you like it was a push-off, or was that a fair late game no call?
Hey, the game's on the line. You got to do what you got to do. I'm good with it.
Yeah, I was definitely good with it as well. Listen, post-game, they asked Giannis about it, about the no calls and all that sort of stuff, and I actually loved his answer. We're going to take a listen to that right now.
How much does it cost if I say something, a comment about the ref? Is it 20,000? It's a lot of money. So I should not do it. I wouldn't do it. I save my money. I gotta pay for diapers. I just gotta play through it.
I love it. I love that from you. So that was him just basically saying, listen, I just want to criticize the hell out of the referees, but I am not taking that hit. He goes, I do want to buy diapers, my man. You're on $258 million contract. I think diapers are fine for you to afford. But that is definitely big child of immigrants energy right there. I can totally relate to that.
You know what it is, but you're not going to get it out of me.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Everyone knew what he wanted to say. He was just not going to say it. No. So, BK, how do you see the rest of that series playing out? Because it's getting pretty interesting over there now. 2-1 Bucks lead.
Yeah, game to game, things change with this series. So I can see this one going the distance because, the home court advantage is such a big deal at this point, of the postseason. And look, the Celtics, I still think they're a very, very good chance to get through the Bucks, but when you've got Giannis, who's arguably the best player remaining in the postseason, it's always going to make life difficult. So I can see this one going all the way. You think this one goes 7?
I think if Milwaukee gets the next one at home too, no, I don't. I think that'll be done in 6 max. And I'm actually furiously scrambling to find any evidence of me picking the Celtics in 6. So I can delete those from the internet wherever they are. Because I honestly think if Milwaukee gets the next game, I think the series is done. I don't see Boston coming back from 3-1 down.
Yeah, if the Bucks go up 3-1, that's lights out. But I can see the Celtics hitting back in this next game. I think this one's going to be a bit of a topsy-turvy one.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. All right, BK, we're going to let you go, my man. We're going to be catching you again on Friday morning, talking all things NBA action as always.
Always appreciate you, my brother.
All right, my man, take care. All right, we're going to bring on old mate Parky now, and he's going to break down all the betting odds for us, and I think he's going to crow a little bit about a couple of his picks from the weekend. Parky, how you doing, my man?
I'm not too bad, thanks, Nick. And the picks didn't go that great on Friday. We both said that in that game 3, the Heat and the 76ers. We both said if Embiid plays, we'll go with the 76ers, and if he didn't, we'd go with the Heat. Well,
so we got that one right.
We got it right. We got it right. But what's happened is just overnight, the Sixers have been fined $50,000 for basically violating injury reporting rules, which in other words means he pissed off a lot of gamblers, because a lot of people that are betting on this game, obviously Embiid is a huge factor, and they didn't announce that he was playing right until tip-off. So that one wasn't good for I waited right till tip-off before I put my bet on, so I was okay. But a lot of people would have put that money on beforehand, thinking that Embiid wasn't going to play. So we got that one right in theory. We missed out on the Suns in game 3. They were favoured by a point, but they lost by 9. And in the NBL, we missed the under there. So currently in the NBA, we're 18-9, which is 67%, and we're 4-2 in our NBA playoffs, which is 67%. So hopefully we've got a few winners today.
Still a pretty good strike rate there, Parky. So shout out to you for that. I want to make a quick note. Obviously, there was one game that started very early this morning, 5:30 a.m. Dallas Mavericks tied it up with the Phoenix Suns at 2-2. Parky, what did you make of that?
Yeah, well, I would have picked the Suns in that one. I have to be honest. I didn't actually bet on the game myself. I sort of stayed away from it, and I'm glad I did, because that was a hell of a win for the Mavs. And the fact that Luka, I think, was something like 1 from 10 from 3.
Yeah,
it didn't have a great offensive game, so I think that's really good signs for the Mavericks, and it's making my Golden State Warriors coming out of the West pick looking okay too, because the Suns are now locked at 2-2 in that series. They've still got home court advantage, but that one could either take a lot out of the Suns, or they could potentially lose that one.
Yeah, well, that one's now officially a best of 3 with, like you said, the Suns having the home court advantage. So that one's definitely going to be one to keep an eye on. All right, Parky, let's take a quick look at today's game, which is Philadelphia and Miami. We've got the Philadelphia 76ers favourites here at $1.76. Miami's at $2.15. The line's at -2. Total is at 207.5. You can watch that one live on ESPN today. Parky, what are you seeing from this one?
Well, we know Embiid's definitely playing in this game, so there's going to be no things that are going to affect those odds up until game time. I think it starts in about an hour's time, that game. Look, I'm leaning towards the 76ers, but I'm going to probably stay away from picking a winner in that. I actually like the under 207.5 in this game. In the first 3 games, they've averaged just over 199 points, and that included a blowout game, so to speak, game 2, where there was 222 points scored. I think that's going to go under that total. Last game was 178. I don't think it's going to be as low as that, but I think it'll definitely get under that 207.5.
Yeah, I'm actually with you. I think it's definitely going to be on the under, and I actually like Philadelphia to win this one and tie it up 2-2, heading back to Miami. I just think they're going to be riding that at home again. They're going to be riding that wave of momentum, having won Game 3 and obviously having Embiid back and having him play, pretty decently as well.
Yeah, well, they won Game 3 by 20 points too, so yeah, they don't even have to play as well as they did the other day, although the Heat didn't have a lot of contributors besides Jimmy Buckets.
Yeah, that's true as well. All right, Parky, let's take a look at tomorrow's games, and we're going to get out of here. We've got 2 games to look at. Obviously, the Milwaukee Bucks going to be heading into this one as favourites, $1.90. Boston Celtics, $1.97. The line's at -1. Total is at 212. Also live on ESPN tomorrow. Parky, like I said, if Milwaukee win this game, for me, that series is done. So if the Celtics want to, have any sort of chance, they need to win tomorrow. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a huge game for the Celtics. I actually picked the Celtics to win this series. So, yeah, I'm not looking real good in this one, because I'm actually going to pick the Bucks in this. Giannis is back. Obviously, not that I don't think he ever really left, but he's just back in. I think they've worked out the Celtics in this series. So to only cover that 1 point at home, I know Middleton's still out, but yeah, I think that's a pretty good bet. I think they're $1.90 for the win, so you're better off just taking them $1.90 for the win. That way, if they win by 1 point, you don't void your bet or push your bet. So yeah, I'd take the Bucks to win in that. And I also really like the under 212 in this game. The average points in this game is even lower than the Heat Sixers series. It's going at about 196.3 points per game. The highest they've had in any game is 204 points, and that total's still at 212. So I think that that's a really good bet in this game. So I like the under 212 and also the Bucks to win this one.
You know what, Parky? Like I've mentioned today many times, I picked the Celtics in 6. I'm regretting that pick. Tomorrow, look, I've learned my lesson. Never bet against the Greek man. And tomorrow, I'm going with the Bucks. They're going to go 3-1 up, and I think they win the series.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. And I think, yeah, I'm a bit the same. I'm a bit smarting as well, even though I'm picking the Bucks in this crucial Game 4 at home. That's going to mean they're going to have a 3-1 lead, and it's going to be tough for the Celtics to come back, even though I did like them. And I mainly liked them because of the way they finished the regular season. Remember, they took the second seed. They didn't.
Yep.
They weren't trying to avoid the Nets, and that turned out to be a pretty good move because they swept them. But yeah, I just didn't like the way the Bucks sort of tried to manipulate their spot, and they were happy to drop the 3. But hey, maybe they were doing the right thing, and yeah, maybe they're going to get it to an easy series win, and wait to see what happens in the Heat Sixers.
There you go. All right, next game we're going to take a look at is the one that we spoke about earlier as well. It's the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies. And look at those odds there, Parky. The Grizzlies, $5.30. And I think a lot of that has to do with the uncertainty surrounding Ja Morant right now and his injury. The Warriors are favourites at $1.18. The line, -10. The total's at 224.5. You can catch that one on NBA League Pass tomorrow. Parky, all the money there. It's all for the Warriors, and I think for good reason.
Yes, and it's been coming for the Warriors too. Yesterday you could get the Grizzlies at 420. They're now, I think, 530 for the win, and that spread's blown out to about to double digits now. It's up to 10. But as you mentioned, you and BK mentioned earlier in the show that the Grizzlies have actually played pretty well without Ja. I think, as you said, they've been 20-5 in the regular season. Now I know this is the playoffs and it's against Golden State and it's at Golden State. So it could be a different story there. But I'm going to stay away from this game. I'm just not. Just haven't got a great read. I mean, you'd think if Jar didn't play, that the Warriors would definitely cover that spread. Seeing they won by 30 in the last game, even though I think that blew out. That was really a 15 to 20 point game, but it blew out to 30 in the end. And there's another thing too. I don't think the Warriors are going to shoot 63% from the field as they did in Game 3. I think that's the second highest ever field goal percentage in NBA playoff history. So yeah, there's a lot of things I'm not sure. And the under-over is another one too. I mean, the last game, there was 254 points scored, whereas Game 2, there was only 207 points. So yeah, I just can't get a read on this one, Nick. So I'm actually not going to give any picks in this game because it's a bit too far away. I feel a bit burnt still from the given that Sixers pick when we thought Embiid wasn't going to play. We're not sure if Jar's going to play or not. So can't really offer anything up there, Nick, unless you've got something that stands out to you.
Yeah, look, I'm kind of in the same boat, Parky, because I agree. I don't think the Warriors are going to shoot 63% again. The Grizzlies do play well without Ja Morant, but again, it is the playoffs. You're heading into Golden State. I mean, they're in Golden State for a Game 4. I think Golden State does have the momentum. They've got the experience. They've got the guys there that know how to sort of win and close out series. And I know it's not going to be a closeout game, but they're at that level where they know what they have to do now. My gut's telling me Warriors, not going to be a blowout, but Warriors to win it in a close one at home.
Assuming Jar plays.
With or without.
Okay. Yeah,
with or without. I'm going Warriors in a close one.
Yeah, well, I'm running scared from this game. I'll write down that you picked the Warriors -10, so we'll put that down just for the record. Because, look, I'd be happy to go that way too. And who knows, I might even bet on that tomorrow when we know what's happening. If Jar's definitely out, then I think they'll win in double digits. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, the under/over at 224.5. That could. I'd lean towards the under there, but I'm not going to give an official pick on that because this series has been all over the shop.
All right, well, we'll have to wait and see on Wednesday morning how we've fared from today's picks. All right, Parky, thank you very much. We're going to catch you again on Wednesday, of course, and we're going to be breaking down that NBL Grand Final Series in depth.
Yes, and it might be the last time we get to talk about the NBL playoffs because the Jack Jumpers are in the 2-zip hole and it's only best of 5 in the NBL playoffs. So it could be lights out for them on Wednesday night. So we'll chat about that on Wednesday. But you blink and you miss the NBL playoffs.
That's true. I do think that's going to be the last NBL game of the season on Wednesday, but we'll get into that on Wednesday morning. All right, Parky, we'll catch you then. This has been another episode of the Last Shot NBA show right here on Little Birdie TV. And as always, we are brought to you by our great mates at topsport.com.au. We'll catch you guys next time.